Hello people, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog where the garage is looking very empty. I've been doing some summer cleaning during these pandemic times and we have a lot more room over here, but we're going to be making more room. Anyways, first, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to swap your ignition system on this 70cc Baja pit bike. It's a Chinese made pit bike. Most of them are exactly the same. The ignition system costs like 30 bucks on eBay. So pretty much we're going to be replacing this today, and I want to start doing some stuff with this. Alrighty guys, first thing you're going to be doing is taking off the plastics. There's just a couple screws right over here. It's not super necessary to take these off, but it's going to make the job go a lot easier. It's going to save you time in the long run. So we got two screws right here. We got a bolt there, bolt there. There's probably a bolt behind here somewhere, and this piece of plastic broke, so there should have been a bolt over here. Alrighty, and with the bodywork off, I like to put the bolts back into the holes where they came out from. That way you don't lose any of the bolts, and that way you remember where everything goes. There were also two bolts right over here in the back that connect to the back of the tail. I haven't started this pit bike in probably about a year now, since the ignition coils went out. I believe it's ignition coils, but we're going to be replacing the whole ignition system. But anyways, I'm going to take out the carburetor while I'm at it, just so that we can have a nice clean carburetor when we start it, and it's good to go. Carburetors get blocked very easily in these little engines, so the little ports are so small, they're almost microscopic. So I'm just going to take out the carburetor, do like kind of a lazy clean on it just so it can start, and then I'm just going to run some seafoam through the tank, and that'll make it nice and easy to start next time. So carburetor is this guy right here. It's only connected by these two bolts right over here. We're going to take it out, and then we're just going to take out the throttle cable as well. This is the carburetor right over here. Has a little throttle plate choke. You can adjust it right there. The fuel line usually connects right over here. It has a little flathead screwdriver connection into it. Mine had a fuel filter that goes right over here between the top of the fuel line and the bottom of the fuel line. I used the fuel filter for something else. I'm going to get a new one, but we're not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to take it off. Twisting this guy off. And this little needle will actually open up a port inside here that actually actuates the throttle. Now I'm not going to do a super in-depth video on how to clean your carburetor. I'm just going to kind of do a lazy cleaning. Alrighty, and that carburetor is just going to sit there and soak while we're working on the ignition coil. It should be good to go. We're just going to spray it with a carb cleaner one more time to kind of rinse off all the dirt as soon as we're done with all this. So let's get back over here. The ignition components, so you're pretty much going to start right here at the engine with a spark plug. So here's the ignition wire, which we're going to be replacing. You want to pretty much just follow it all the way through. And this pit bike is very simple. It's just going to go all the way back, and then we're literally just going to replace every one of these parts. And then over here into a little resistor box. And we're going to plug in the new one. And this is actually supposed to slide in right over here. I'm guessing it probably fell out at some point. Now we're just going to follow the wire down. Next thing we have to replace is right here. This is the ignition coil. This is probably the culprit of our no spark issue. It's the ignition coil. All it takes is a little 8mm ratchet. Alrighty, and here is the coil pack. It just literally unplugs right over here. And there's a little bracket over here that connects it to the spark plug wire. Also another 8mm bolt. Alrighty, and as you can see, this old ignition coil has the female piece. This newer one has the male piece. So we're just gonna thread this in. Sweet, just like that. Alrighty, and the plug wire is back in place. This is nice and secure. It's not gonna touch the exhaust pipe. And we're plugging in the ignition coil. Alrighty, and with all this connected again, we're going to electrical tape all of this together. Make sure it's nice and tight. So let's come back over here to the carburetor. It's been soaking for about 15 minutes or so. And spraying it again. Pretty much just going to take off all of this rust and crystallized gasoline. Alrighty guys, and that is how you complete your ignition swap on your little pit bike. It also works on quads, dirt bikes, as I said before. So I did stumble onto some fuel lines that I had just kind of laying around in the garage. So yeah, with the new fuel lines, the new air filter and all that, should be good to go. So I just need to get some fuel and then I should be able to ride it on the next video. Anyways, so now that the pit bike is done, we're gonna go on to our next project. I wanna have some more garage room. So I'm gonna take this buggy out of here, and that is actually gonna be the next project too. Right now it has a 600cc Yamaha 2-stroke motor, I believe out of a jet ski. I don't wanna work on this motor because for one, I have very bad luck with 2-stroke motors. And for two, I have this bike sitting right here. It runs fine, it's just been laid down, the plastics are all ruined, so I wanna swap the 750cc motor into the buggy. Obviously we'll swap in the transmission and everything too, so it should have a 6-speed. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to shift yet. Maybe it'll be like a button shifter, maybe it'll be a switch shifter. And we'll also have a speedometer onto it too, because we'll just take the speedo and everything out of the bike. But in order to do that, we're gonna have to get a little bit more room than just this little spot. I don't wanna take up the entire garage. I wanna free up all this room with the tires. So we're gonna take it through the garage door, around the property, and back into the backyard. So I'll be right back. And this is the best I came up with, I think. We have skateboards underneath the rear, transmission jack, which has moving wheels in the front. So we should be able to pivot it side by side, and the rear wheels should be able to roll properly. This looks really sketchy. I'm going to be actually going on the sidewalk and on the road a little bit, I think. But, you know, it's got to get there somehow. It doesn't help that I'm doing it kind of in rush hour times, but YOLO. Oh, the skateboard's worst nemesis. A tiny pebble. And yes, it's 110 degrees out right now. And that is about as far as I got it from my house. I'm gonna try tactic number 2. I'm gonna grab my truck, bring it around over here, and pretty much just hitch it up and pull it up the curb, which I don't know why I didn't think of before. So let's go get the truck. I'm kind of dragging it along, just kind of watching it from the side mirror. This is as sketchy as things get because it's like rush hour right now and I live like right next to the main road. If I was to get it stuck on the curb or something, that would be very bad. We would have the whole lane blocked. So I'm gonna pull out into that turn lane and hope for the best. It is like sideways in the middle of the freaking road. I'm so sketched out. I really hope a cop doesn't pull up. He's gonna be like, what the f are you doing, son? All right, I'm gonna put the camera down and I really wanna get this done safely, so I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, that was so sketchy. All right, that tire is definitely done. Good news, it's up on the curb in the backyard. Now I'm just gonna pull it right over here, push it where the pit bike is, and then we're gonna be good to go. I'll be right back. Alright, and I know this video is going to be titled something like how to change the ignition system on your pit bike or quad or something like that, but that is also how you put a dune buggy into your backyard without the use of a trailer when it doesn't run and it has flat tires through an RV gate on the side of a major road. So, and that is the 120 horsepower Honda VFR motor that we're going to be putting into the buggy. Hopefully the buggy does like 100 miles an hour or something like that with everything when it's all said and done. If you guys liked this video, I can't tell you what to do, but there's a button for it. If you guys want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down there. Other than that, you guys have a great day.